It is Wednesday, February 26, 2020. I'm Ella V, and these are the Cryptosphere's top stories for today. Bitcoin's price finally reacts to the coronavirus market scare, falling in tandem with stocks and gold. As fears of the coronavirus intensify in the United States, Coinbase shares its 4-tier pandemic plan for employees. And finally, in happier news, Dapper Labs of CryptoKitty fame is taking the Ultimate Fighting Championship on. We're going to tell you all about it. Bitcoin's price dropped another 3% on the day, marking the second day of losses as global equities markets sharply corrected on fears of the coronavirus spreading to more countries. As the effects of the ensuing world health crisis keep dominating the global headlines, the long-standing battle of narratives in the cryptosphere on whether or not Bitcoin is a store of value has intensified as well. We asked some of our pundits their take on it. This is what they had to say.
On the one side, Bitcoin does have this relationship with an emerging technology that makes it very much risk correlated. So it is going to be sensitive to those themes. Right. On the other side, looking out medium and longer term as the asset matures, there is very much a sense of a market that could become a very significant safe haven store of value asset.
I would say that people in the cryptocurrency community are generally more distrustful of institutions and generally more attuned to potential crises that are happening. And right as the general market was catching on to this, as you pointed out, reflected in the decline of stock markets around the world, you saw Bitcoin actually start to sell off. So maybe that was a bit of buy the rumor, sell the news.
But the Chinese government, I believe, are very focused on economy. So they will be very keen to stimulate the economy, including probably potentially allowing some of the new advanced forms of fintech, including cryptocurrency, etc. So there are.
BLOCKTV's Usher Westrup Evans joins us now in studio. Usher, it's not just Bitcoin, is it?
No, certainly it's not just Bitcoin. In fact, it's all markets we're seeing at the moment, from equities, oil, even gold actually had a retracement, interestingly enough, despite its safe haven status, that being said, after a massive climb, so maybe just organic. But returning to the cryptosphere and staying in the crypto space, we are seeing massive losses across alts. You can see there the graphic, everything pretty much is red. It is pretty dramatic falls. Wow. And, you know, Bitcoin with a relatively humble 4-ish% loss on the day compared to some of the other alts out there that are seeing losses in the double digits. It's a significant write-off, which has seen, for those Bitcoin bulls out there, or those Bitcoin maximalists, it has seen a retreading and a regrowth of Bitcoin's overall market dominance. So those maximalists might be happy on that front, but I imagine they didn't want to get that way by just not falling the slowest. That being said, this is this classic pattern we've seen in times when Bitcoin has lost. We see Bitcoin perhaps lead the market down, but then others quickly and dramatically swing down a lot harder. The pendulum seems to swing further as you go further down the rungs of various alts out there. But whether this is just a small-term correction or a longer-term run, as we saw from our analysts there we've spoken to on BLOCKTV, a wealth of opinions out there. No one yet knows for sure. Entirely,
and time will tell. Usher Westrup Evans, thank you for this report. Not just the markets have been affected by the coronavirus scare. The alarm bells ringing around the world have sparked disaster preparedness, and the cryptosphere has reacted accordingly. Coinbase, the poster child of cryptocurrency trading in the United States, has shared its preparation plans for various outcomes of the fast-spreading virus. And they are not the only ones. Jona Hochhauser has the story.
The cryptosphere is taking coronavirus seriously, like very seriously. Coinbase just released their 4-tier plan for the fast-spreading disease. And boy, is it highly specific. Tier 1 only triggers if more than 100 instances of in-the-wild person-to-person virus transmission between people who are not close relatives or living in the same house and outside of a hospital setting, occurring within the commuting radius of a given Coinbase office. Measured mortality rate remains 1% or above, 10 times the seasonal flu. Observed transmission rate remains above 1.5. Bruce Fenton, friend of the show, went on a Twitter rant questioning the US government's lack of response to corona. Dovey Wan has essentially turned her feed into the Coronavirus Update Center. Ryan Seckles of Masari's Unqualified Opinions has turned his crypto newsletter into a soapbox he stands on to yell of the impending doom for us all. Even crypto conferences are getting hit. The annual Community Ethereum Development Conference, EdCon, the MWC, Token 2049, Binance Blockchain Week Vietnam, and Hong Kong Blockchain Week have all been put on hold or canceled altogether. With the whole world on edge about the coronavirus, it seems that the cryptosphere is living up to its paranoid outsider reputation. Jona Hochhauser, BLOCKTV.
The coronavirus outbreak is reportedly delaying also progress on China's central bank digital currency launch. According to one report in the Global Times, the deadly virus is slowing down the pace of work on its much-awaited CBDC. Now, according to the Times, a source allegedly close to the matter in China has claimed that, and we quote, the coronavirus outbreak has led to postponed work resumption in government institutions, including the People's Bank of China. Policymakers and research staff involved in the project are no exception, according to that source. Now, the pilot test for the Chinese CBDC was supposed to happen sometime before the end of 2020, with some reports claiming that the PBOC would provide public updates for it before the end of Q1. Needless to say, that seems less than achievable, at this point. Crypto wallet and security startup CoolBitX raised $16.7 million in a round led by Japanese financial group SBI Holdings, along with National Development Fund of Taiwan, Korean crypto exchange Bitsonic, and Japanese financial firm Monex. In 2020, the startup's focus seems set on new products and features that comply with new rules from the Financial Action Task Force, or the FATF, that require businesses to collect and pass information about customers when transferring funds between firms. Monex Group CEO Oki Matsumoto said in a press statement that as a cryptocurrency exchange owner, he sees, and we quote him, huge potential in CoolBitX to promote the proper adoption of virtual assets in a fair yet robust industry, according to him. Dapper Labs, a consumer blockchain developer of CryptoKitty's fame, has announced a new licensing partnership with UFC, the world's premier mixed martial arts performance. Zaki Hennessy, clearly a martial arts performer, I'm kidding, has delved deep into this story and joined us in studio. What is the deal with this deal, Zach?
So the deal is exactly as you expressed. Dapper Labs, the creator of CryptoKitties, has signed a deal with the Ultimate Fighting Championship, also known as UFC, the MMA league. And what they're doing is they are essentially putting digital versions of their fighters on their Flow blockchain platform, essentially turning their fighters into non-fungible trading cards, so to speak. So this is something that's exciting for MMA fans, I'm sure, and also fans of the UFC who want a little piece of that.
A little piece of that action.
Yeah.
Now, this is not the first sports deal also that has been done by Dapper,
Absolutely
right?
correct. So already on the Flow blockchain platform, they have made a deal with the NBA, and that is coming out, NBA Top Shot it's called, as well as even outside the world of sports, they've made deals with Warner Music, and they're working with Ubisoft as well, just really spreading out throughout the entertainment industry and trying to find a way to really manifest the idea of blockchain and entertainment. And speaking of Flow, the blockchain, I actually had an opportunity to speak in September with their CTO of Dapper Labs, Dieter Shirley, who had this to say about Flow.
In a lot of cases, these were organizations coming to us. So at the executive level, I think a lot of these partnerships were actually initiated on the other side. People coming to us and saying, "We love what you've done with CryptoKitties. We see the potential of this for our audiences. Can you make a partnership with us and we'll do something together?" And so we had to wait until we had a credible answer to how we were going to bring their audiences to a decentralized technology before we could feel good about signing those deals. Working out the details of those deals is always hard, but again, that's a legal process. I think that there was enthusiasm from all of the partners that we've announced so far to get into decentralized technology, and they're all very excited about the idea of a blockchain that can scale.
And yay, it's time for Troll of the Day, and the Block and CZ are at it again. Yona Hochhauser has the story.
Right, Yael. So the troll of the day is Binance's CZ, who he tweeted out this tweet calling out Mike Dudas, or saying idiots use their own narrow view of the world, making the worst and wrong assumptions of people, and call that news. We need to regulate fake news. Now, what is this all about? I got to give you some background. So what started this all was Mike Dudas' tweet.
He's being the head of the block.
He's the head of the block, and he tweeted, "Shocker, Justin Sun lied about giving Bitcoin to Warren Buffett." This, of course, is commenting on that interview that Warren Buffett had, claiming that I don't have any Bitcoin, and Justin Sun said he did give him Bitcoin. That's when Mike Dudas sent out that tweet. Now, Udi Wertheimer sent out this tweet. He's a famous troller, and he was calling out Mike Dudas for saying, listen, you know what? In the end, Justin Sun wasn't lying. You're lying. Do your job. You're not a real member of the media. Now, Mike Dudas tweeted this in response, apologizing, saying, you know, it's the first time for everything. Justin Sun really wasn't lying. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right with me so far? Now, there's a lot more back and forth that we do not have time for.
No, because I'm having this moment of an aneurysm. But it's not CZ's and the Block's first showdown, is it?
No, it is not. For those who remember, a couple of months back, Mike Dudas' The Block reported how there was a police raid in Binance's offices in China. Now, for those who don't remember, it was a whole big to-do. Was it a police raid? Was it Binance's offices? What is even an office? But we actually spoke to Binance's CZ the other day and asked him about this FUD fund that he, in reaction to that story, suggested they make to raise money to fight fake news. Here it is.
And, finally, I'm leading to this whole big shebang between you and another entity of journalism in the sphere called The Block. There was this big brouhaha a few months ago. Yes, office, no office. You and Justin Sun offered to start a FUD fund. Did that happen?
No, unfortunately, it didn't. It just wasn't important to do. It was like at the moment we're kind of thinking about it, with thinking loud. But at the end of the day, that thing, it doesn't contribute value. It's just like a lot of people are arguing back and forth. I think it was very clear when you use a word like police raid, and that did not happen, and that changes back to a authority visited an office somewhere in Shanghai that has some relationship with us potentially. Those are two very different stories. That's manipulation in my mind. That's very bad journalism. So I stopped following. I blocked the Block. I blocked the guys, the authors there. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to hear them. I'm okay living without reading their news. So and for us, it's just we're much better focused on building products people use and not waste our efforts there. So I no longer care about that at all.
Right, so that was what CZ said last week, but then now CZ is calling in this tweet a need to regulate fake news. Now, I think what this whole debacle really shows is that instead of we need to regulate the amount of I know you are, but what am I? Stop hitting myself. Loser says what argumenting between the little children on Twitter.
My word, I could not agree more, Yona. Exactly that. Please, everybody, stop fighting. Thank you. That was Around the Block for today. Thank you for watching. For more blockchain, tech, and cryptocurrency news, visit us at blocktv.com.
For more news and updates, follow us on Twitter.